Ladies and gentlemen, call this meeting to order today for our May the 15th, 2024 board meeting here, special meeting. Welcome everybody here today. Our first item on the agenda is to convene in the closed meeting.
You need a motion?
Need some motion here, please.
Need a motion that the Northumberland County Board of Supervisors convene in closed meeting pursuant to Virginia Freedom of Information Act, Section 2.23711A7 for consultation with legal counsel and/or staff pertaining to specific legal matters where such consultation or briefing in open meeting would adversely affect the board's negotiating or litigating posture. And Sections 2.23711A29, discussion of the award of public contract involving the expenditure of public funds, including interviews of bidders or offers, and discussion of the terms or the scope of such contract where discussions in open session would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body. Invited to attend the closed meeting as necessary are the county administrator and assistant county administrator as they are deemed necessary, and their presence will reasonably aid the board in its consideration of the topics to be discussed pursuant to Virginia FOIA Section 2.23712F.
All right.
So moved.
So moved. Got a motion second. All those in favor say aye. 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 Ladies and gentlemen, we are now in closed meeting. Everybody else ready?
Yeah.
Luttrell?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead.
Need a motion. I need a motion that the Northumberland Board of Supervisors return to public meeting and certify by roll call vote that only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by the Virginia Freedom of Information Act and as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered during the closed meeting.
All right.
So moved.
I got a
Second.
motion.
Second.
Got a second. All right, roll call vote. Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Long?
Aye.
Mr. Brand?
Aye.
Mr. Fisher?
Aye.
Mr. Haney? Aye. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now back in the open meeting, and we will start our 5:30 meeting here. Welcome everybody here today. I'm sorry we're a little bit late. Our first item on the list today is a presentation from the Northumberland YMCA, Allison Cockrell. Good to see you again, Allison.
Thanks for having us. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we can use that.
Can I give it?
Uh-huh.
Sorry. It's the only thing on there. Some materials for you guys too. Just
Thank you, Allison. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
my sit or stand a little further.
Have a seat, stand, whichever you're comfortable with.
He's got some visuals to go with it, but while he's pulling that up, I just want to thank you guys so much for the opportunity just to sit before you tonight and talk about kind of what our YMCA's service looks like to the community and what our next phase is as we move forward. So, as most of you know, my name's Allison Cockrell. I'm the executive director at the Northumberland Family YMCA. I've had the opportunity and the privilege to serve since 2008, and I'm just really excited to be here to get to share with you guys today. The county's been so generous to our Y since its inception with support, both monetarily and just in general with property and things of that nature. And so it was natural that we wanted to come and share what our future looks like, and also to just kind of elaborate on the requests that we're making for the next fiscal year. And so RY has been able to provide a safe space for people to grow for over 10 years, and again, none of that would be possible without your support. So really want to thank you for that. Here at the Y, we're committed to preventing drowning. You can go to the next slide, please. Drowning is the second leading cause of unintentional death for children ages 5 to 14. Northumberland County is comprised of 599 miles of shoreline, and currently our YMCA has the only recreational pool in the county. When we're open for the season, our pool is brimming with programming, from swim lessons to swim team, aquatic group exercise, and a whole lot more. Since 2012, our YMCA has provided free swim lessons to over 1,900 second graders from Northumberland and Richmond County, and we actually just wrapped up this season, this school year, with 190 more over the past 2 weeks. The Y is a place where children can learn to be comfortable and safe around the water, and for a lot of people, our YMCA is where their love of swimming really begins. And I think this is evident over this past year. You can go to the next slide. By the creation of our Northumberland High School swim team. So several of these students that are pictured here started swimming at our YMCA through our second grade Learn to Swim program. They then progressed from swim lessons into our summer swim team, and then the group of volunteers, or group of parents and students wanted to swim for their high school. So they formed this high school swim team. Some of these kids, again, really grew in confidence and in pride for their school, to swim for their home county. And several of them competed both at the regional and state level in the first year of competition. So you can really see the progression and the need that's there. They had to share a pool and share pool space with 4 other swim teams at the Northern Neck Family YMCA. So they only got about 45 minutes of swim time twice a week throughout the whole season, and still were able to have that success. So we really would love to be able to offer them an opportunity to swim year-round, and we could expand programming as well with this project. So really, we think that the demonstrated usage of our pool seasonally, combined with ever-growing community needs, necessitates a call for action to cover our pool so that we can serve more. By creating year-round access to aquatic programming, the Northumberland community will benefit for generations to come through health, recreation, and water safety. And so we wanted to make sure we were being responsible as an organization, so we reached out to several of our community partners to say, hey, how would this also benefit you? So I asked if they'd be willing to participate in a video that we plan to shoot to support this project. And the interviews were completely unscripted. All I said was, how would your organization benefit from year-round access to the pool at the Y? So if you go to the next slide and hit play, and I'm hoping this works, this is what they said. Oh, no sound. Do we have any sound? There it is. Maybe.
different activities.
You want to start it back over?
School and the why is so important.
Thank you.
Over 100 of our fishing partners, employees, ocean harvesters use the pool for various water-related activities. As of right now, we have to travel out of the county, out of Northumberland County, to use a facility that's enclosed. Most of our training is conducted in the off-season, and when Northumberland County YMCA's pool is open, our season has already started. So we need to find a facility that has a coverage over their pool so we can train during the off-season, such as the winter months between December and April.
We have over 100 employees for Ocean Harvesting, which 98% of those live in Northumberland County. I think the pool will benefit a lot for the families, for different activities.
The partnership between the school and the Y is so important because when our kids leave our school, all of them have had experience and learned how to swim. Our biggest issue right now is the fact that our calendar is backing up. So if we had a pool that was enclosed and it was year-round, the partnership between Northumberland Elementary and the YMCA would be even stronger. We could collaborate for more programs. We could continue our Learn to Swim program so that our children would come out of Northumberland Elementary with some skills in a water community that if something happened, they could get to shore or they could keep themselves afloat. And that's why this is so very important that they learn how to swim.
We reached out to the Northumberland YMCA because we were in need of utilizing their pool for water rescue, and we needed a safe environment. So one of the things that we wanted to do was access the pool year-round. So if the pool were enclosed, it would benefit the fire department so that we could come year-round. And then when it becomes the pool season or the beach season, we'll be able to jump in the water because we've had training during the colder months. It would benefit the fire department, the rescue departments, and everyone in the northern end. Water safety is everyone's responsibility.
So the Boys and Girls Club has partnered with the YMCA here in Northumberland County to provide free swim lessons to our community's kids for the last 3 summers. It's a wonderful partnership. It's a way that we can expand our programs by partnering with your programs and bringing really a life-saving skill to the children of our community. We are surrounded by water, and yet we have a lot of children that don't know how to swim, and having the experts here at the YMCA provide those lessons to our children in the community has been an amazing partnership, and we really do appreciate that. Bring your pool would just increase the possibilities of programs that we could offer, skill building that we could offer to the kids in our community that need us most.
Thank you. We can go to the next slide. Operating year-round would give us the opportunity to triple the amount of swim lessons that we could teach. It would allow us to continue to expand water safety programs for both our school system, for neighboring school systems, the Boys and Girls Club, and community organizations that need it. And so we really believe that this is really much more about just expanding our YMCA programming, but ultimately it's about saving lives. Preventing drowning, providing access and resources and training opportunities that don't currently exist in Northumberland County. And so when we, as a YMCA, started to explore what does it look like to cover our pool, we looked at several different options in different price ranges, and found an option that we think really fits what we need, not just looking at cost, but things like longevity, maintenance, aesthetics, feasibility. And we found this structure, which is on the next slide. It's called the Dynadome. So the Dynadome is an innovative, durable design that offers the best of both worlds. In the spring and summer, the retractable enclosure is open to allow sunshine to fill the space. And in the fall and winter, the roof is closed to create a protected space for year-round programming and enjoyment. The dome opens and closes in minutes, allowing for flexibility with inclement weather. The enclosure is a solid, sustainable building with a 20-year warranty and is designed and built to withstand local building code requirements in terms of snow and wind, as well as other structural loads. We believe that this project will transform our YMCA service to the community, and we're asking for your support tonight and for this fiscal year. So we would be the first YMCA in the state of Virginia, we believe, to offer a structure like this, and we really do think it's an innovative and exciting design. So just some details around our project. This is a $2 million project. To date, I'm happy to report that we've raised over $1 million towards the project, and our timeline is to be at $1.5 million by the end of June. Really, we're hoping that we can stay on timeline, use the momentum of our pool being open for the season to drive home and get across the finish line. And we don't want to interrupt or interfere with the general operation of the pool seasonally. So ideally, we would raise the money, we would be able to continue to open and run this season, and then break ground on the structure when the pool closes for the season after Labor Day. We've already selected a local contractor, and construction documents should be coming soon. And I've given you a packet of informational materials as it relates to the project. So in our request for funding for this year, we want to continue to be able to operate and to program like we have been for so many years with your support. And your annual support of $50,000 really helps us to do that. What we're proposing is an additional $125,000 over 5 years. So an additional $25,000 a year for 5 years. This is in line with how we're asking, how we're spreading our pledges out with other donors. But that $25,000 a year for 5 years would help us really move this project forward. And it would also be in line with kind of how the county has supported our YMCA historically. We wanted to make sure to take that into consideration as well. So I'm really just grateful for the opportunity to share this super exciting project that we've been working on diligently, really just since November, and have had some really good progress. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you all have at this time.
All right, board members have any questions?
So every kid from the second grade, you teach them how to swim, right?
Yes, sir. We've run the second grade Learn to Swim program since 2012 at our YMCA. It's a collaboration with the school system. Every second grader gets 8 swim lessons, and if they don't have a bathing suit, the Y provides a bathing suit for them. The school buses them to the YMCA. We teach lessons, and then we bus them back. The challenge we're facing right now is the school calendar has changed, so they get out, so early that we're not able to operate that program because it's too cold. They get out of school tomorrow. This year we had to move our program to the Northern Neck YMCA in Kilmarnock just so that we could operate it. And we also service Richmond County with our facility as well. And so just making sure that we're able to continue this program is really in the forefront of our mind.
How long has this program been going on?
Second grade Learn to Swim since 2012.
You know one thing, you don't realize how big a help. We had men and fish.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't swim.
I know.
So it's a big help for those that's going to work on the water. How does a student join the swim team?
How does a student join the swim team at the high school?
Yeah.
It's similar to, it's a VHSL sanctioned sport, so they can come try out, but again, it's open to everyone at the high school level that wants to try out. What's challenging, and what was challenging this time, was that they'd have to travel to Kilmarnock to swim, so arranging the transportation back and forth. I know the school was successful in that. It would be so much easier if it was right up the road at our YMCA.
So from the 9th grade on?
Yes, high school. However, we do run a summer swim program, and they can start swim team with us at age 5. We have kickboard swim, but again, we're only offering that for 3 months. We could offer it year-round, and they could really build their skills from a young age.
Last question.
Yep.
How many schools are involved from the Northern Neck?
In the high school swim
Swimming.
team? Yep, so all the schools at the Northern Neck that do it right now, it's Lancaster, Northumberland, Middlesex. Christchurch also swims, but they all 4 use that Kilmarnock pool for swim time. And so sharing it so the ability to have our pool covered would absolutely alleviate some of that pressure, not just for our students, but would give us the ability to help other schools as well potentially start a program.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is the size of your pool sufficient to hold BHSL sanctioned swim meets?
Yep, so it's 6 lanes, competition size
Length
is the
is
same
length.
as,
You said you would close the pool in September for construction. Would you, if everything went to plan, would this be done in time to reopen the pool the following season?
That is our intention, and that's why we're trying to stick so hard to timeline, because we don't want to interrupt what we would do normally, right? So best case scenario, and what we're aiming for is that we're able to open by Memorial Day of next year with it, if not sooner, as long as construction, you know how that goes. But that's the plan. Yeah.
I had one other.
Yes, sir.
Do you have adult classes?
We do have adult classes, yes, sir. We have adult swim lessons. We have had volunteers who've taught those. We've taught several adult lessons every summer, all ages, and done that. We also offer water aerobics classes for members, for seniors. We've partnered with Abilities Abound in the past to do physical therapy sessions in our pool. So again, we do a lot in the 3 months that we're open. If we were able to do it year round, it would really add value, really to all ages in the community, we think.
Your 1.5 million that you've got, all of that has come from the community.
Absolutely. Yep. We've all from pretty much all from the local community. We're waiting on a few grant requests that we've put in, grants and foundations. We hope to hear back from them in June. And so we're really confident that if we can get all these pledges and commitments secured, that we can launch publicly into the community division and really rally our community around this project to meet our timelines.
The YMCA is a big organization. Is the YMCA itself as a group going to contribute to the cover?
So RY is a 501(c). Now our Northumberland YMCA is a part of the YMCA of the Virginia Peninsulas, which is an association. Our association has given us a blessing to move forward with this, and our project is part of a larger capital project in our association, which gives us options when it comes to either bridge funding or, help me.
Yeah, internal loans.
Yeah.
The structure of the larger Y would offset any gaps in fundraising, bridge funding as well, but, you know, a little cash flow in terms of the project. Right. That organization, the larger, within supplement.
Thank you. Sorry, guys, this is Rosabeth Ward. She's with the YMCA of the Virginia Peninsula.
Well, I'm going to make one comment.
Yes, sir.
I hope when I ask this, has anybody in this room other than myself have to pull a body out of the water that's drowned today? Has anybody in this room ever had to dive and search for a body? I have. And I'm telling you, it's not good. And most of the time when someone loses their life, it's either because they don't know how to swim. Sometimes it may be a medical emergency, but some of those medical emergencies is not what's caused them to pass away. It's the drowning. Swimming is very important.
The last thing that I'll add to along those lines, we really think, many of you know, I grew up here. And I did, Ms. Long, did you know that? And, if you think about what it means to grow up in a place where you can have access, safe access, to learn to be safe in and around the water, we're talking about generational impact, right? I mean, it starts at age 3 or younger with parent-child and can really go all the way up through adulthood. And so it's about a lot more than just our YMCA being able to teach swim lessons year-round. It's really about providing access to everyone in the county, because it's really important. So I just really thank you guys for the opportunity to share.
I know you're 501(c)(3).
Yes, sir.
If I wanted to make a donation, where would I send it?
Right to the YMCA.
Okay, what's the
Attention, Allison Cockrell. No, I was kidding.
Who is that?
Hey, my card is in that packet, Mr. Long. P.O. Box 146.
Okay, what's in here?
Yes, sir. My business card's in there. My direct contact information's on there.
Did you make her run laps?
Yes.
Quite a few.
Let the record state, yes.
Do you remember
yeah, he
how,
was
do you
famous for
remember
that.
how many, or guesstimate how many?
I could think about it.
All right, because he will donate $1,000 for every lap he made you run.
Speaking of generational impact, do the ones his son made me run count as well?
Allison, just a curious note.
Yes, sir.
What kind of heating system are you going to use in that to heat that thing in the wintertime?
Yes, sir. So those large, I don't know if you can see them on the picture to the right-hand side, the large black bars, it's propane heat. It would just heat the air. We have a pool heater that heats the water. The advantage of this system over a full enclosure is that you don't need a dehumidification system, and you don't need cooling because you use the air, so.
So you can watch it snow and swim at the same time.
Be awesome. We'll throw a pool
Fantastic
party.
project, yes. Fantastic, yes.
All right, you said you had some grants you applied for.
Yes, sir.
Any amount of money on them?
We,
Yeah, we have about $300,000.
300, okay.
That we will hear about in June.
Okay.
One of which is a challenge grant that we're going to use to launch our community fundraising.
Okay. And I hope you've done some research on those heaters, see what your pool treatment.
We have.
chemicals you're using.
We have, and I'm happy to talk with you about some,
All right.
some things that we found out since you and I spoke last. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, any other questions? Staff have any questions? Allison, thank you.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
Nice job.
Thank you. Nice said.
All right. Next is Bay Aging. We have anybody here from Bay Aging
I believe they're online. Mr. Chairman.
online? Anybody online from Bay Aging?
Yes, yes.
Oh, yes, I can hear you now.
Yes. Yes, thank you for allowing us to attend remotely tonight. My name is Tinsley Goad. I'm the Chief Financial Officer at Bay Aging, which is the area agency on aging and community action agency serving the Middle Peninsula and Northern Neck. Before I get started, I'd like to recognize our long-serving board members representing Northumberland County, Bruce Craig and William Doyle, who have served on the Bay Aging Board with distinction for many years. For fiscal 2025, we are requesting a 3% increase in funding for our aging services over the appropriated 2024 levels to accommodate rising costs in both products such as meals and, of course, in our personnel costs that are continuing to increase as they are across the nation. Our aging services include Meals on Wheels, home care hours, information and education, caregiver support, housing, and other services that help citizens of all ages live independently in their communities. Our request of $16,700 for these services from Northumberland, of course, does not stand on its own, but rather enables Bay Aging to draw down the much larger state and federal resources for these programs. You hopefully received an impact sheet, or if not, you have the request letter that talks about the impact on Westmoreland County and its citizens, which in the previous fiscal year had us serving more than 1,600 county residents. And in the services, we delivered more than 18,000 meals. We provided more than 5,700 hours of in-home care. We served more than 50 county residents in various housing programs such as weatherization, indoor plumbing, rehab, and in housing crisis services. We appreciate the partnership with Northumberland County, and again, thank you for allowing us to attend remotely. I will take questions, or I can turn it over to our transit director, Mr. Ken Pollard.
All right, let's see if I have any questions for you. Any board members have any questions?
I don't have any at this time.
All right, any staff members have any questions? All right, we don't have any questions at this time, but
All right.
if you have something else, please carry on.
Yeah.
Hi, yes, my name is Ken Pollock. I'm the transit director for Bay Transit. We are a division of Bay Aging. I wanted to give you a quick update on transit services in Northumberland County. First of all, thank you for 24 years of support. We started in Northumberland in April of 2000. We provide door-to-door transit service, which means that because of the rural nature of our region, that fixed route service, typical transit service that you're familiar with, does not work because people live too far away from where bus routes would be and would not be able to access the bus stops. So we've implemented a system of door-to-door service. People call us, they have to call in advance, a couple of days in advance, to schedule their ride. We put them on the schedule, we call them and tell them when we're gonna pick them up, and then we go and get them, and we try to group them on with some other people and get them to their destination, and then get them home later in the afternoon. In Northumberland, we have 2 buses that are operating 12 hours a day, Monday through Friday. We provided 7,279 rides in fiscal year '23. 53% of those rides were work-related, 27% were for health purposes, and the rest were for shopping, senior centers, and education. And I did want to note we had a 65% increase in our education rides from Northumberland, mostly to the RCC, because we started a partnership with RCC to provide free rides to students, faculty, and staff with a valid ID to the RCC campuses throughout the service area, and then the RCC Foundation reimburses us for those trips. We also offer the New Freedom Program. This offers rides to seniors and people with disabilities to destinations outside of Bay Transit service area, so mostly to specialized medical services, VA hospitals in Richmond and Hampton. But it's also for socialization, for when Bay Transit doesn't operate, if people need to go to church, we can take them to church. We can do things outside of the regular Bay Transit service hours for qualified individuals. In Northumberland, we provided 235 New Freedom rides this past year. Now, what is the impact of transit on Northumberland residents? First and foremost is economic development. People ride for a reason, for the most part. They're either riding to make money at work or spend money shopping and for health services. The public transit provides them access to medical services and access to retail stores so they can get the services they need and the groceries that they need. And this allows people to remain independent and live at home for as long as possible. And that is part of Bay Aging's mission. And Bay Transit wants to be the safety net for those people that can no longer drive. This year we are requesting an increase of 3%, and this is to keep up with rising operation and labor costs so we can stay competitive in the market in recruiting staff. And with that, I'll open it up to any questions.
All right, any board members have any questions?
What is the number that people can call if they need transportation?
You put me on the spot. 877-869-6046. That is a ride line, toll-free ride line.
Repeat that again.
877-869-6046.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, any other questions?
Sure.
Do you have any other questions from the board? All right, do we have any questions from staff? All right, we don't have any more questions. I do thank you for your presentations.
All right.
Thank you for the opportunity. Appreciate it.
Have a good evening.
Yes, and also thank you all for all you do in the county.
Right.
And the surrounding counties too. Don't forget about that, because you're not just here. But
Thanks.
all right.
Big help.
Thank you. All right, next would be the draft budget.
Yeah, and actually, Mr. Chairman, before I get to that, we also have the school budget. I didn't know if you had any discussion related to that, any questions, how you all wish to proceed.
All right, school budget. What does the board want to do? Board want to,
Well, we have someone, maybe they, from the board, maybe they want to make a statement.
yeah, they are perfectly welcome to make a statement. Dr. Walker, Ms. Booth, if y'all want to make a statement, you're perfectly welcome to.
Good evening.
Good evening. Glad to see you.
Mr. Chairman. It's good to see everybody. We were invited to this work session. We have presented the budget. We have tried to be very responsive to the questions and answers that have been shared with everyone. We are being very cooperative in the forensic audit. What we are here this evening to ask is for the supervisors to please consider approving a budget for the school division so that we can issue our contracts to our employees.
Okay.
Have you heard anything from the state budget? You got an update on that?
It was passed, but I literally just saw it, so I haven't had time to sit down and look at the numbers and see what it actually means.
Okay.
So, Mr. Chairman, that is my statement for this evening.
Thank you,
We're trying
Dr.
to prioritize contracts.
All right, okay. All right, any other questions from the board? Questions from staff?
I don't.
All right, what's the board's pleasure?
I'd like to see what the state's budget is.
We ought to know something on the state budget in a few days. Hopefully you'll have an answer in a few days, Ms. Booth.
Absolutely.
Then we need to sit down and finalize it.
We got to get it done.
Gotta get it
Yeah,
done.
I don't want to keep dragging on.
No,
I want
gotta
to get this
it
thing
done.
taken care of.
Need to set up, even if I have to set another meeting.
We can set another meeting this week or whatever. Doesn't make any difference to me.
Let's see.
We talking next week possibly?
Yeah,
Yeah, if you want to do it next week.
yeah.
Day is, what's the day?
Today's the
Today's
15th.
Wednesday. Yeah, week's over with, I was gonna say.
I think on the schedule we had the 22nd at
What's that?
5:30,
Yes, we did.
if I'm not mistaken.
We sure did.
Let's see, 22nd.
Yep. 5:30.
That's something
Yeah, I can
hard.
make it.
22nd gonna be pretty hard. Couldn't do it Monday?
We'd already had that date on the calendar. 22nd.
Okay, yeah, okay. If we had it on the calendar, oh, man. So what time?
5:30?
5:30.
I got a social service board at 3. Okay, 5:30.
That'll bring you some nabs.
And bring him, if you don't make it,
Well, no,
if you don't
I-
make it, we're gonna make you run some laps.
I should be here, because 3 o'clock at social services.
Okay.
Yeah, you have
5:30.
plenty of time, yeah. You have plenty of time for that. 5:30, the 22nd.
Yep.
All right,
Also, the school board had a meeting yesterday, and they had fully applied the responses to the RFPs to the new construction fund. So we are moving forward with all of those projects, and that should bring that money down to
well, that's good.
Yes, and so we have upheld the agreement that I think BBB Bank.
Yeah.
Yes, and actually, the board has authorized me to go ahead and advertise a public hearing for the a potential transfer of the property for the June meeting.
Sorry, though.
What
Make sure
RFPs
they
or
push it
what
for that
projects do those RFPs cover?
We are on Monday
We
beginning
haven't decided on that
resurfacing
too.
the track.
We gotta talk about that a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah, if they come and we wanna make sure they get the same thing.
So for the new construction funding on Monday, focusing on the track, we're also doing the Northumberland Elementary School flooring replacement. We're installing a stairwell to the Northumberland Elementary rooftop. We're moving forward with a generator on a replacement that we are fixing. It's been happening. And the remainder of the money will be used for painting projects, similar to what you have done at the courthouse, because it looks very nice, by the way. But if we
Thank you.
did have that transfer of the deed, we would be looking to do some painting at the PVP bank, because you can see that it's in desperate need of some repair.
Yeah, we're gonna have a hearing next month?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Mr. Walgo.
that'll be June.
Any of the schools designated as a shelter?
Yes.
Which-
The middle high is, and I believe back in the day, they could even use the elementary, but the Red Cross has been using the high school. It has a generator.
Okay, keep in mind, if that generator has issues or what have you, that Virginia Department of Emergency Management sometimes has grant money for generator replacement, so that may be a source of funding to have a generator replaced when that time comes.
Thank you. Mr. Brand is really good about, there are yearly inspections and everything. So he's definitely on top of that. And maintenance. Yes, sir.
just curious, what's the timeline for the replacement of the wells at the two schools?
I don't have, well, there's a due date that is, 2020,
It was 2 dates, one for one and one for the other one.
but I think the county possibly, and I don't know if stuff Mr. Tadlock, but I believe there was discussion that we would take the two wells and
Combine.
that we could combine them.
Yep.
Because it sounds like that is a possibility that's available.
The
But
2025
in our
or
talks
2027?
before, you
thought
told
it
me
was
that
20
one of those projects
There were
had to
two
be either
different dates.
started or completed by such and such a date. What was that date?
I'd have to look. it up.
Okay,
I can bring that next week.
just curious.
Yes, sir.
And one other question. In your minutes from your meeting the other night, you approved someone to assist with ESSER 3 reimbursements. What does that mean?
So there is a consultant that has been working with the ESSER 3 reimbursement, and the board approved for that same consultant to continue to assist. So all of the reimbursements are made by, because that's when the ESSER 3 deadline is to reimburse against that. Our goal is to have all of those monies spent and reimbursed against, obviously. And I believe this week is bringing some more information that we have later. Have I answered your question?
Yep, thank you.
All right, board members and staff have any more questions? Dr. Walgo, Ms. Booth, thank you all for coming.
Thank you. We appreciate your support.
All right. All right. You
All
want
right,
to do
I
budget? Or
can.
you got something else you want?
No, we can jump into the fiscal year 24-25 budget. I know it's been a long afternoon for the board since 2 o'clock with the interviews and everything. So just briefly, you have in front of you the proposed fiscal year 25 budget. It does reflect an increase of about $4.9 million. The tax rate is set at 69 cents in the proposed document, and this is still for further discussion. We have not advertised it yet, so that it does reflect an 8-cent tax increase. It does include the budgets as requested by the various departments and outside agencies. It does include 4 new positions It does include the CIP as requested and as it was heard by the board last month, or this month for the public hearing. It includes the regional radio debt service, $500,000 annually. It does include the reassessment cost of $450,000, and that's just the one-time cost. And it also includes a 5% salary increase for staff, with two of the departments getting adjusted salary rates. So that's kind of just a brief overview. I can answer. We have uploaded the document to board docs for public view.
Can you provide us with a list of the items that have price increases?
Sure.
I know we talked about some the other day, but I think it needs to, public needs to be able to see what increases we are actually looking at in some of these cases. We don't have any control over.
From a joking standpoint, it'd probably be easier to show the ones that didn't increase.
That's true too. But I know it'd be good to see that in. What was the other one we talked about the other day?
Oh, we talked about the increase 5%, right?
We did, yes,
Okay.
sir. And that's where you're going to see a lot of your cost is the 5%. You're going to see increase on your health insurance. You're going to see an increase on the VRS, especially the hybrid. And if you like more information on that, I can, Ms. Dotson is here this evening too. So that's where a lot of your cost is associated.
Anyone have any questions on the VRS? Oh, Ms. Mary's here.
What
Mary,
size
you have
increase?
anything you need to comment on? Do you have anything you want to comment on?
Y'all ask the questions and I'll answer them.
All
What
right.
size increase were we facing?
Based on what's in the budget now, we're looking at $48,000, just for the hybrid. Based on the new VRS rate, it's over $100,000 alone just for VRS and group life from last year to this year, because the rate increased this year for the VRS, but the group life rate went down. But it's still based on what has been proposed in the budget. The VRS and group life alone's over $100,000, rough. $101,641.63 based on salaries from December to what's being proposed, with some changes with employees coming and going. On the hybrid side, where we have to pick up the additional costs, we're looking at $48,121.95 on top of that, just for VRS.
$500,000.
All
And
right.
that was a change that came down from VRS with the state. And it impacts all employers in the Virginia retirement system.
All right. Hey, Mary,
Yes,
don't we have a 12.88% increase this year?
that's what I was just, the first number I gave you.
And that
It's going
equates,
It's going from 12.47 from VRS to 12.88.
all right, and what does that equate to, a dollar amount?
It equates to based on what the salaries were in December when that went through with a few employee changes. It's $101,641.63 compared from December to what's in the budget now.
And then we also have that 48,000 additional dollars too on top of that.
That's correct, not including the health insurance.
Yeah. Health insurance is a 7.2% increase.
That is correct.
And how much additional money would that be?
That was the 100, what we brought to y'all in March. That was the 100 and some thousand.
We had estimated that to be about 100,000.
Based on the numbers at that time. I just had my open
Okay,
enrollment closed today.
that is close enough.
And then we had the rates for HIC, which is the health insurance credit for only county employees, because constitutional officers is covered by the state. And then the hybrids also have their charge. We have, but that's all in the budget at this time. And that rate is normal rate that we pay every year. That
Okay.
rate did not change.
All right. Any board members, any other board members have any questions?
Yeah, although we're asking for a 5% raise across the board, we have two departments is asking for more, right? The sheriff department.
They were looking for various adjustments to their salary scales to be competitive with adjoining localities.
You know, I was thinking about that, and let's look back a year or so, 2 years ago. We went through the same process with the schools.
It's true. We did. We brought their salaries up to be competitive. And I do have a problem with our EMS and Sheriff's Department salaries being down. I know some of them have a large percentage, but if we start losing ALS providers, we are in big trouble.
We are obligated to provide public safety.
We have to. We have no choice.
We don't have a choice.
And when,
If we're gonna stay
hope none of
competitive.
us in this room need it, but I'm gonna tell you what, when you pick that phone up and call, and that crew comes through that doorway of your house to get you, it is a good feeling, and it doesn't take them long, and they are well-trained.
We got the lowest paid salaries around.
Pretty much in the neck.
In the
In the
whole
neck.
And
I don't know. We gotta do some talking on that.
yeah, we need to talk about it, because
We need to.
this 5% for them is not gonna cut it.
No, it's
And
not.
I just can't see doing it.
We're gonna have to give them what they need.
We also need to look at funds in other locations. Maybe we can relocate them to a better purpose, or another purpose.
But that 5% is not what's in the proposed budget, right?
Oh, no,
No,
no, that money to bring them up is not in the budget. It's only a
It is.
5% raise across the board.
No,
no.
I think
no.
That's all in there.
it's in
I
there.
think what they proposed is in the budget.
That is correct.
Oh,
Right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm wrong.
But, right.
And we still don't have any information on what the state's gonna do yet, do we?
Hopefully, if the state passed the
But-
budget, the information would be
But
posted.
keep in mind, whatever the state does, they're gonna do it for everybody, of course. And that's
Yes.
gonna push everybody else back up too.
Yeah.
So you want to advertise this the way it is?
I think you all should take a look at it
Take a
first.
look at it first before we do any more?
And then we'll be having a work session next week.
All right.
And
That's
then,
going to be all right in time-wise is what I'm looking for.
yeah, I think the way we had that on the budget calendar was to have the work session next Wednesday. We would advertise it the week of the 29th and the 30th. And the public hearing would be on the 6th of June. And then, of course, you have to wait the week to hold any, to take action on it. You can hold work sessions prior to taking action on it, but you've got to wait 1 week in order to take action on it.
What time is that meeting gonna be on the 6th of June?
We would schedule it for 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
So we could vote to advertise at our meeting on the 22nd, is that what you said?
Correct.
Yeah.
And then it would be advertised on the 29th?
It would be advertised the 29th and 30th. Yes, sir. It only has to be advertised 1 week.
And then our public hearing would be on the 6th of June at 7 PM. Correct?
June 6th, 7 PM. Yes, sir.
All right. Any other discussion, gentlemen? No other discussion? Do you have anything else before we go back in?
We just, not on that, just have the closed meeting item.
Ladies, since y'all are the only ones in the audience, have any comments?
Oh, you shouldn't have asked that one. Yes, sir.
Right, one more time. Make sure I got Philip, I'm putting it on every page.
Short and sweet, please.
I gotta get that
I
flag.
just heard that if everything's proposed the way it's planned, that every citizen is counting an 8% tax increase. And I also heard that there might be flexibility.
8% or it'd be 8?
0.61 to 0.69?
That's
It'd
8
be an
cents.
8 cent.
8
but
cent.
8 cent.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I will redo my percentages. Thank you. An 8-cent tax increase. Any tax increase, frankly, is a little bit concerning until we figure out what's going on. The press release just showed that the state budget includes a 3% raise for teachers, and it also includes funding, additional funding for K through 12. So the school will get the funding that information out. And then I also am very encouraged by the Board of Supervisors' comments that it's possible to take money from one proposal and move it to another. I would argue that this county does need emergency services. We've got an aging population. We really need to make sure we're taking care of people. And the facts still stand that for 6 years, there was a $9 million extra funding in the school that they didn't need. I would highly encourage you to look at the additional funding that's going to come from the state and to look hard at the budget for the school and see if there's anything you can do to try to help the rest of the county by moving some money around without raising a penny for taxpayers, because when the assessments come next year, whatever tax rate you set now, you don't want to go through what Lancaster's going through right now, because people will be panicking and we don't want to lose residents from the county.
Well, one thing about it, whatever tax rate we set this year, when you get the new appraisal and that takes effect, that if the appraisal goes way up, that will lower the tax rate.
If you do the equitable adjustment.
Yeah, we always lower the tax rate.
Is that a promise?
We've done it always in the past.
Okay. Because I'm very concerned people are not going to have the resources for it. And from the economic development perspective, we're trying a ton of things to try to get more people to come in the county. You heard that the Bay Transit folks, they actually move people around for jobs. We're trying to see if we can maybe get some things there. So thank you for the opportunity to comment. And I look forward to doing my homework tonight to read the county budget.
Thank you, Mayor. I know you but bust a gut, come on. Oh, you're going to be quiet? This will go down in history. I'm going to put this one down in my book because it's the first time she hasn't spoken.
No, she hasn't spoken the last,
Oh, yeah.
she
but
wasn't
she's-
even here the last.
She's usually had a few words to say.
No, that long afternoon. She's being kind.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Nothing else, we'll go back in closed meeting.
Yep.
All right, I need a motion that the Northumberland County Board of Supervisors convene in closed meeting pursuant to Virginia Freedom of Information Act, Section 2.2, 3711A7, for consultation with legal counsel and/or staff pertaining to specific legal matters where such consultation or briefing in open meeting would adversely affect the board's negotiating or litigating posture. Invited to attend the closed meeting as necessary are the county administrator, assistant county administrator, and building official as they are deemed necessary and their presence will reasonably aid the board in its consideration of topics to be discussed pursuant to Virginia FOIA Section 2.23712F.
So moved.
Second.
I got a motion second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. We are now in closed meeting.
Motion that the Northumberland Board of Supervisors return to public meeting and certify by a roll call vote that only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by the Virginia Freedom of Information Act and as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered during the closed meeting.
Second.
Second, motion second. Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Long? Aye. Mr. Bryan?
Aye.
Mr. Fisher? Aye. Mr. Haney? Aye. Now back in the open meeting. Any other business we need to take care of?
This is not related to the closed meeting, but I believe Mr. Basie had spoken to you earlier about the HVAC quote. We did not put that in board docs. Did you want to discuss that tonight, or do you want to discuss that next week?
We'll discuss it tonight if y'all got the time.
Reach back out to Brandon with this one. I reached back out to Brandon with Southern Air and asked him to rerun the numbers based on concerns the board raised when we looked at it originally, and he was able to find some savings in there. He reduced the number of labor hours down to 80 and brought the grand total down on the replacement to $24,954.83. Originally, it had been, I want to say, around $28,000, $29,000.
Say $4,000 just like that.
I don't know if the board wants to take any action or not.
Almost 7,000 and times that discount. 4,000 just like that came on down. Set it back to a normal fee. Whatever y'all want to do. Did they give us any time limit on when they need to know?
I told him I thought we would try to get that to y'all this week or next, so. Actually, I told him this week, but I wasn't sure if we would get to it or not.
Oh, all right, this week is what you said, all right.
I guess my thing is, once we put the heating and air back upstairs, what are we gonna use it for? I hate investing money in something that we're not gonna use.
That's the next question. We got to decide what we're gonna do with the second floor. Are we gonna do anything with it, or are we just gonna let it sit? If we're gonna let it sit, we'll spend $24,000.
It's going to need a whole lot more than air conditioning and heating if you're going to do something with it. I mean, you can't just go up there and have meetings in it the way it is.
Well, you want to spend, that'll be another 25 or more.
At least.
So that's 50,000 right there. We're gonna spend 50, 60, 75,000.
Not in that.
And you can't access it, but only through the steps. If we're gonna access it, use it, we need to put an elevator in. And the elevator, what is that, 200,000 more?
We do have records upstairs, too.
Right. Young folks won't have any problem getting up
Do-
there.
I'm not talking,
No, but do you
I'm
need a
not,
climate control for the records?
yeah, I'm not talking about the elevator. I'm talking about climate control, sorry. For the records, for the board records, payables, treasurer's office has records up there. Commissioner of Revenue has records.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm just not too crazy about the fact that we're in contract with somebody that would charge us such an inflated price on that deal to start with.
Chip, I'll tell you something. Every one of them out here will rip you off. You gotta stay on. Unless it didn't work for Jim Long.
Can we ponder on next meeting?
Yeah, we fine on it.
Do you have any climate control up there now?
No.
How long has it been since you've had some?
It's been a while. It was identified in the original, onboard, that when we were trying to get the HVAC system straight for the new courts building and the old courts building, that was part of the process. We were trying to get the units straight at that point. And then we did not do anything with
Were
that.
they back in the back rooms and where the judges' chambers were and all that sort of, in the office? Is that where the records are?
They're two unit, right, that's where the records are.
Have you all been up there?
I've never been up there.
I'll go up there.
You ought to go up in the attic if you want to see something. That's where you need to go.
I've been up there for one time, that's 40 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been used, so it's been used for storage over the years, so.
Has the bathroom been turned off up there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
In actuality, you could possibly then just set up climate control in one area, one small area where the records are.
You could, you have,
And that wouldn't have to be 70 degrees in the winter and
no,
it could be way, way down. The humidity and moisture is the main thing I guess you're concerned with. So, you know, if
Right.
it was kept 55, 60 degrees would be a great plenty, I would think, would you?
right.
Just throwing out numbers.
Just something
Yeah,
to get the
yeah,
humidity
yeah.
out in
I'm
the
just-
summertime and,
So that situation could be eliminated if we decided not to do the whole upstairs.
I want to think about it, we got a meeting back on the 22nd.
Yeah.
To give you all the rest of this week and the weekend. Toss it through your mind. Go up there and look. See what your opinion is. That's the best thing, to go up there and look at it, don't just stop by and look at it.
Might ride down here Friday and take a look.
That way you can have a better idea what has to be done and if you want to spend the money or whatever you want to do. There's a lot of money to spend. I hate to spend a lot of money like that.
So we gotta figure out what to do.
Right.
with the guy from Weary Assessment. So,
Yeah, we got the assessor coming in,
Yep.
we gotta have somewhere to put them. And if we're gonna put them up there, they gotta have AC and heat.
don't put it up there, then they'll work fast.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
one more thing, and I'm just as anxious to go home as everybody. But I looked at the courthouse and the paint job we got. Courthouse looks wonderful. But I hope to die, I'm ashamed of the way the front of the courthouse looks. That courthouse, what, 1864, 5, when was it built? 60, 1860?
center
Yeah.
portion was Bill Carston and the two.
Yeah. Anyway, here or there. The paint job looks wonderful. The downspouts, you got paint all over. And I understand it's from a number of years, not just from this paint job. The downspouts are the same color as this table there, about, and the building is white, and they all smeared with paint. It looks like, if this young lady wasn't here, I'd tell you what it looked like. But it's makes no sense. It looks awful. Now, the northeast side of the building has got some on it, but the southeast side, where you're going towards his office, is awful.
Is it copper downspouts?
Copper downspouts,
Been painted.
and they've got paint on them, and more paint got on them from this painting crew here. They did a good job and everything else. And they got a lot of paint on them from this guy.
I'm just asking to look at them and see if it's as disgraceful to you as it is to
I
me.
noticed that other day, and it ought to be cleaned off and make it look good.
Well, the best thing is just go ahead and repaint them.
Peel right off that copper.
Well, they're already painted, don't they?
No, no. It's weather.
It's weathered.
That's what copper's turned off like that.
I was under the impression they were painted.
No. If you go up there and start cleaning them, you're gonna brighten them up. Wherever you clean, it's gonna start becoming shiny, but it'll age.
It's dull all the time.
But I don't believe you go to a courthouse nowhere in this land and see something as shabby looking as that.
Should have told them in our bid that they had to clean all the, gutters and downspouts of all the paint before they left.
Well, my understanding,
Whoever paints it, that's
yeah,
what we should
my
always do.
understanding, I know very little or nothing about it. I just saw it, I don't like it. My understanding was that it was mostly from other painters, I don't know.
Yeah, it was some on there, and this crew got some on too, you know. I know it's impossible not to get it on.
But certainly the front of the courthouse should look decent.
But while they were here, we could have asked them to do it, and that would have been done. Somebody had cleaned it off.
So now you can't spray anything on them because you're gonna mess your paint up. So
And it's
then-
gonna have to be brushed, but if you're not gonna paint them, then you're just gonna have to clean them. I don't know what you're gonna do, it don't look right.
Come off, you take
But it,
you can take a light sanding disc, on a little battery sander, and touch it, cut it right off in 2 seconds. You're gonna have a shiny spot there for a while, and then that's gonna go right on back up, that'll tarnish and all with weather, rain and weather. Rain is just the air, will tarnish it, will turn right on back.
anyway,
We need to take a look at it.
See if we're getting somebody to look at that.
The rotten wood's been replaced.
Yep. Yep.
We got all that replaced. Did a good job on that.
All right. We carrying over, we going?
We're carrying over.
I got one quick one. Are we talking about, how big of a hurry are we to get these engineers on board, to get in a contract with one of them?
Glad you brought that up.
We won't talk about that on the 22nd also, or not?
22nd, if that's what y'all want to do. we'll
No, I'm
talk
just,
about that.
I'm just asking.
Talk about those engineers.
All right, you like them?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's put that on the list too. Anything else y'all come up with, you want to talk with on the 22nd, bring it up.
Yeah, glad he brought that up a couple times.
That was a long time ago when we talked
Yeah.
about that, wasn't it?
I think we need to look at what direction we want to go in and have a good idea what.
What was that, Jimmy?
We need to look at what direction we want to go in, because we've had talks about, moving forward here with some things in the county, so we need to look at what firm will better serve in that role.
Right. Yep. We need to talk about, this land that we own too, in the county.
We're going to bring that up in July. We'll get the budget and all behind us, and we have a discussion on it in July.
And also about the social service department. We pay rent to that. We pay rent.
They do. Social Services pays rent for that building.
They pay for that.
Right, yes, sir.
State side or the county side of the budget?
I can find out for you. I
That's
don't
the
know.
thing, they get money from the state and also get money from us.
But also,
Or it may be a
if the
percentage.
county, if the county had its own building, could we
Right.
rent that?
That's
We
right.
could.
You could rent it.
Well,
Right.
you look at that and what we paying for the voters registrar's office, that is,
24,000 a year.
that's,
Yeah, we need, that's
We
what
need
I
to
was
start
thinking.
looking at these
Go ahead and
things.
buy that building if it's available.
Which building you talking about, Jim?
social service.
Social service.
I don't know if they sell it.
He had it up for sale one time a couple of years ago, but we didn't bite. Had
You
a
should
reason.
have. That's hindsight now.
Better off to own it than rent it.
This building up there, it does have potential up there you could add on to it.
Right.
right now, that man's got a gravy.
Huh?
I say, right now, that man's got a gravy.
Maybe we ought to approach him, see if he wants to sell.
According to, what's her name, he did want to sell it. What's her
What do you think, Mike?
Maybe we can check into it
name?
and see.
Check it.
Well, if the county paid for it, we'd know what we were paying every month.
county could buy a building, keep the social services in there, and if the state's paying rent, the state would pay us rent, we could have the rent money coming back.
Pay for the building.
Be good. All right, then you'd, if you got any extra room, you could put somebody else into it, so it helps the state. Or if you had, if you could add on to it, you could add on some more space and have other things there.
Plenty of room out back.
Owns that land right there. It's tied up in that mansion back there.
Let it roll back there.
What name of it?
Springfield?
Well, I was,
Anything else, John?
So,
Morgan's ready to go home.
so we got
Hey,
to
Jones.
All right, entertain a motion to carry over to May the 22nd at 5:30.
motion to
moved.
carry, yep, so moved.
All right, motion and a second.
Got a
All
second?
in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you all for coming.